Hello friends, and welcome to Steph's Pointe, the channel dedicated to making dance and acrobatics accessible for everyone. Do you want to achieve your dance goals? Do you want to fulfill your acrobatic dreams? Well, today I'm going to show you just how you can do that. I have my wonderful avocado socks on today, and we're going to get right into the video right now. So, you want to become a better dancer. Well, let me ask you a very important question. What the heck does that even mean? What is a better dancer? I'm gonna let you in on a little secret here, okay? Get ready, get ready. You can always become better. I'm talking like even Simone Biles here has the ability to become better than she is today. So in order to achieve your goals, you first need to define what your goals actually are. I think the number one thing holding people back from achieving their goals and their dreams is knowing exactly what they need to do to get there. So first, we want to set SMART goals. SMART is an acronym standing for specific, measurable, achievable, realistic, and time-oriented. So let's break that all down real quick. So first, our goal needs to be specific. Specific means one very particular thing that is well defined and clear. Saying you want to get better at dancing is not very clear. What type of dancing do you want to get better at? Maybe it's ballet, hip hop, acro, jazz. There's so many types. And even within those types of dancing, there are different exercises and skills that you might want to get better at. Like if you want to get better at ballet, well, do you want to get better at your grande allegro, your petit allegro, your adagio? And even within those, there are specific things like pirouettes, leaps, and so on and so on. So first we need to nail down exactly what specific skills and drills that you want to get better at in order to achieve those goals. Once we've nailed down the specific goal that we have in mind, we need to make sure that that goal is also measurable. Let's define what makes a goal measurable by defining what is not measurable. Anytime that you set a goal that has words like better, best, improve upon, work on, you know that it's not a measurable goal. You can't measure whether or not you're working on something. I mean, you can tell if you've been working on it, but what exactly does that mean? How often are you working on it? So instead of saying things like, I want to get better at my releve, say, I want to be able to balance and passe releve for 8 counts on each leg. That's way more specific than saying, I want to get better at my releve. Instead of saying, I want to become more flexible, well, flexibility could mean a lot of different things. You could say, I want to stretch for 10 minutes a day on specific days of the week. By being more clear on what exactly you're trying to achieve, you're going to be able to measure your achievements and celebrate when you achieve them. If you can't measure it, you're never going to know when you actually get that thing that you want so badly, and you're going to feel discouraged and not be able to celebrate the win that you worked so hard for. You can tell if you can balance on releve for 8 counts. You can't really tell if you're better at your releve. I hope that makes sense. We want to make sure that we're always setting goals that are achievable for us. Now, don't get me wrong. You should definitely dream big and set your sights super high for the future. But you don't want to set your sights too high for the short-term goals that you're setting. Because if you do, you're only going to let yourself feel defeated and feel discouraged by not being able to achieve that goal. Some goals that we have are amazing and we should definitely work towards them, but some of them take like years to accomplish. For example, getting your pointe shoes. That takes many, many years of ballet training, and if that's your only goal, then you're gonna start feeling let down and discouraged about the fact that it's taking so long to get there. So instead, you want to set smaller, more achievable goals in the short term in order to work your way up towards achieving your end goal. For example, if you have a goal to get a clean double pirouette, your first goal would be to balance on releve for 2 counts, with proper technique, of course. After you can balance on releve for 2 counts, then you can set a goal for getting a single pirouette. Once you have that single pirouette down, set your goal to balance at the end of your single pirouette for at least 1 count, but preferably even more. Once you can do that, your double pirouette's gonna be quite simple. And when you achieve that double pirouette, you'll be so excited that you've gotten there, and then you can set a goal for getting a triple pirouette. But if you just set a goal for achieving a double pirouette before you can even balance on releve and passe, it's gonna take a long time for you to reach that goal. So in order to make your big goals more achievable, you just have to break them down into smaller goals that you can successfully do in the short term. And then you can celebrate all of those small wins along the way and celebrate all of the progress that you're making. But not only do you want to make your goals achievable, you also want to make sure that they are realistic. Now you might look at those 2 words and be like, what exactly is the difference? Well, some goals that are achievable might not actually be realistic for you to achieve. Do you have the time and energy needed to dedicate to that goal in order to achieve it? For example, if your goal is to stretch for 10 minutes a day, but you have 1 night a week where you go straight from school to dance and then you don't get home until 9 o'clock at night, is it realistic for you to go home and stretch on that specific night? Probably not, because you have to go home and you have to eat food and go to sleep, and you need to sleep in order to succeed the next day. So while it is possible for you to go home and stretch for 10 minutes that day, it's technically achievable. Is it realistic for you to do? I would say no. So you want to make sure that you set goals to stretch for 10 minutes on days where you actually have the time and energy available to achieve that goal. All of your goals should be both achievable and realistic for you to actually dedicate the time to. And the last thing, you want to make sure that your goal is time-oriented or set within a specific time frame. If you have a goal to get the splits, how long do you want to take to get there? Do you want to get your splits in a week? Probably not realistic. Do you want to get your splits in a month? Still a little sketchy. Or do you want to spend the next 6 months stretching for 10 minutes a day in order to get your splits? Well, setting a time frame for your goal is going to help you to work towards it harder, to really drive to achieve that goal. If you don't set a time frame, you just say, I want to get my splits one day. Well, next thing you know, your goal's rolling over every single month and month and month, and then all of a sudden it's been 2 years and you still don't have your splits because you didn't give yourself a specific time in which you should achieve that goal. You didn't really work as hard towards it because you weren't really driving to a specific date. So set yourself a nice time frame that's realistic and achievable in order to achieve that goal. So what have we learned today? We've learned that we want to make sure that our goals are SMART. They are specific, they are measurable, they are achievable, they are realistic, and they are time-oriented. And by setting SMART goals, we can see our big, giant goals and dreams for the future, and we can work towards them by breaking them down into smaller, more manageable goals over time that we can celebrate along the way, and we can all of a sudden, you'll realize that you have made it to that giant goal by achieving all of the little goals that you've set yourself up for. Think of it as like a staircase. Each little goal is one step, and when you step up that step, you get to celebrate. And then all of a sudden, you've stepped up 5 steps, 10 steps, 12 steps. Eventually, you'll be at the top of the staircase, seeing and looking down at all of the wonderful achievements that you've made along the way. If you like this video, I hope that you give it a thumbs up and subscribe to my channel for more content just like this. I like being here to help you guys achieve your dance goals, to achieve your acro goals, to inspire you to do better, and of course, make sure that you remember, every day you rise, you have the chance to shine. Thank you guys, see you next time.